Hello again and welcome to hogaNs Healthy Kitchen 2014. Today we're making almond milk. Our list of ingredients is as follows. We have 6 to 7 pitted dates. These are Israeli medjool dates. You can also get the California medjool dates, pitted. This is our special ingredient. This is lucuma powder, all the way from Peru. This is our carob powder, our fine sea salt, and this is our 3 cups of almonds for the almond milk. First, what we're going to do is we're going to fill our Vitamix, our blender, with 6 cups of water. On the Vitamix is a leveler to tell you where you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cups. We're then going to put in our almonds, 3 cups of almonds. We're going to blend this. It should only take about 10 to 20 seconds. We're going to blend it up. And you want to blend it to get it as smooth as possible so there's very little nuts, fine nut powder. Make sure your blender, your Vitamix lid is closed properly. The way you want to work your Vitamix is you want to have it on low speed setting, and once you flip on the on switch up, then you flip it to high, from low to high. Okay, here we go. Okay, there again, you check your consistency of your milk with your Vitamix stock. You can see the consistency of it, and if there's any remaining thick nut pieces. I'm happy with the way mine looks. What we're going to do now is we're going to pour our blended nut mixture into our nut bag and into a mixing bowl. You want to place your nut bag over your blended jug. And you're going to pull the whole mixture into your mixing bowl through your nut bag. What we're going to do now is we're going to strain the milk all through the different sections of the nut bag until it's fully drained. And our end product, what we want is to have a very hard, dry nut flour, which we'll use for making toast, cookies, a pizza base, and so on. So here we go. We're going to drain all the milk. The more nuts you use in this mixture, the more creamy your nut milk will be. This should take about 3 to 4 minutes if you do it correctly, and like I say, you should end with a very dry nut flour if you've done it correctly. I would suggest also wearing gloves for this operation because this is a drink. Sometimes you'll see me in these videos not wearing gloves for the food to mix things, but for drinks I highly recommend getting a pair of gloves. These are not latex gloves. while I'm busy squeezing here. This is a nut bag. There is alternatives. If you cannot find a nut bag at your local store, you can always use a pair of lady stockings or pantyhose. Anything that looks very similar to cheesecloth that will have very small holes, you can try, but obviously a nut bag would be the best thing for you to get your hands on, and they vary in price and also in size depending where you source your product from. Okay, we're almost done here. Just want to get the final bits of milk out. You'll see the more you squeeze, the more milk will come out. Eventually, it'll be just drops, and that's when you can stop. But you want to get as much out of the mixture as possible. This is a favorite in most homes. Instead of cow's milk, you have nut milk, and the benefit of this nut milk is that it doesn't contain any of the casein that you'll find in cow's dairy. And casein is a problem. Why? Because it's highly carcinogenic towards you. It has a very toxic effect on your kidneys. This nut milk is it's high in calcium, but it doesn't have the casein in it. Another thing you'll find when you're shopping at your local stores, you'll find different brands that are selling almond milk in the cartons. And if you read the ingredients, 90% of them will have an ingredient called carrageenan in it, which is actually red seaweed and is also known as Irish moss. The problem with carrageenan is it's quite heavy on the system. It causes inflammation into your digestive tract, which can lead to ulcerations and bleeding in your digestive system. So you want to stay away from carrageenan and casein, which is found in almond milks at the store, and then cow's dairy, milks, yogurts, ice cream. Okay, back to the recipe here. This is our milk that we've strained out the bag. We're going to put it back into our blender. Okay. Now we're going to add the rest of our ingredients. We'll go to our Israeli medjool dates that have been pitted. Make sure your dates are pitted. Our carob powder. Why do we use carob? Because normal chocolate, which comes from cacao, cocoa, has theobromine in it and caffeine, which is not good nutrition for children. That's why we go with the carob bean. Okay, onto our fine sea salt. Why do we put salt in our mixture? A little bit for taste, but mostly for it gives it a longer fridge life or a shelf life to your nut mixture. And that will work with Brazil nuts, walnuts, pecan nuts, almond nuts, any nuts that you want to mix. The salt will give it a longer life. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, our secret ingredient, the lucuma powder. This comes from Peru, and what it's known for is the taste. It's got a very maple syrup-like taste, and it adds a very creamy richness to your entire milk. So that's why we put it in here. I feel it's a necessary ingredient and something I always add to all my milks to make it nice, thick, creamy, and it gives it a beautiful maple syrup-like taste. Lastly, our vanilla. We're just going to add a dash of vanilla. You can use vanilla powder, which comes from vanilla sticks, which you then can use a coffee grinder to blend those vanilla sticks, or a blender. We just got some vanilla essence here. It's pure, it's alcohol free. If you can get organic, try and get organic too. We just add in a dash of it. And lastly, before we do our mixture here, if you want, this is an almond nut milk. If you want something thicker than what the lucuma does for you, and even it will make it frothier and a lot thicker, you can add some chia, white or black chia seed. And chia, like psyllium, is a thickener. So this milk is already going to be thick, but if you add chia or psyllium, I would suggest chia. It's going to make it a lot thicker, and which is going to feel like a real frothy, thick, creamy milkshake. Okay, let's get blending. Again, make sure your Vitamix top is securely on. You don't want your milk splashing all over the show. Okay, again, make sure your Vitamix is on low before you power it on. Once you power it on, switch it to high. And there you have it, almond carob milk. Enjoy.